So another thing that I've also been getting into is actually inside of this kind of like tote bag here with a picture of Suna, or the goddess of the sun. I picked this up in HMV and I just really like the design on it. It's a picture of Suna, the goddess. I miss her light, I miss her warmth, and I really just wanted to embrace that. But inside this tote bag, we've actually got what I've been currently doing when I'm at work or just in general, is that I've been knitting. And I basically went to my nan and granddad's and I said to my nan, could you show me how to knit? I had no idea how to do this, but this is the knitting that I'm doing so far. And I remember I remember reading in the book, also known as Hipster, that Matt Gramfield, he started getting into knitting and he started to find out that that was a relaxing thing to do in order to become the ultimate hipster. And I thought, how can I be the ultimate hipster? So I went to my nan's house and I said to her, could you show me how to knit? She says, what's inspiring you to become this hipster as such? And I thought, well, I just find it's one way of embracing many hobbies as possible to learn the inner world, because we all have an inner world. And I feel like reading books, especially that book, building the person we are from within instead of building up who we are from without. This is a challenge that Jacob gave to me a year ago. Jacob Todson, who I mentioned many times in my videos, spoke to me a year ago and he said to me, I challenge you to shed external desires and build up who you are internally. So by having these many hobbies, by reading books, by taking up photography, by not being so about everything exterior from me and trying to build up who I am from within, building up hobbies like this by trying to knit, builds up who you are inside. And sure, this is a physical item, but this is a physical item made by you. In the Hipster book, Matt Gramfield started knitting because he started wanting something tangible, something authentic, something that had value. Yes, you could go on Amazon or on anything and buy a scarf online, and Matt Gramfield looked at the scarf that he bought and it said, oh, it was made in China. And sure, that person in China probably only got paid $1 an hour just for making that one scarf. But one thing about making a scarf like this is that you've done it yourself. It's something that it's an achievement you can tick off the list. And it's not perfect. There's holes in this. Like you can see there's a little hole here. You know, you can see that I'm not the best. There's a little bit of a tangly bit when I first began, just about here. But yet again, I feel like that they represent the mistakes that we make in life. And I started to realize that knitting is not just a practice. It's not just a mantra, like, you know, where, you know, some Hindus go, Om Namah Shiva, and then you see the Buddhists go, Om Mane Padme Hum. I feel like knitting is exactly that same prayer, exactly that same mantra. And what I love about it, if I was to just knit a little bit for you guys here. So for me, how I kind of knit, I kind of bunch up all of these bits near this area. It's not the professional thing to do, it's not what other people do, but I just find it really works for me, that I kind of bunch up all of these kind of like little bits of wool, so it just helps me. And then you got it like this, and then you've got this other stick that's completely clear, and then you kind of just pull this, you see this little area here, and it kind of forms like a little loop. Well, my nan showed me that if you put your needle through here like that, and you see how this bit here, this needle with nothing on it goes around the back, this bit goes here, kind of looks like that. And then you grab this free bit of string here, or free bit of wool, and then you wrap this one in the middle until it forms kind of like this interlocking piece of wool here, if you can see that. And then once that's happened, just pull it and then just get this bit that's got nothing on it other than this little bit of string here, and then thread this bit through here like that until your needles looks like this, and then put this one off this needle and put it onto the next, and then it forms something that looks a bit like this. And I thought that was really kind of cool. And now you do that for all of them. Do it again. Just before I came back to my house, I went to a coffee shop known as Hope Cafe in Romford. If you know where that is, it's next to a Turkish barbershop in the Romford Market. If you go there, I think you guys would love it. But in there, you can get a coffee for about £3. Like most places, if you go to Black Sheep, like I usually love going there, the cheapest coffee you can get there is for about £4. Most coffees, wherever you go, whether it's Starbucks, whether it's Black Sheep, even whether it's Pret, it's always a £5. So I go there whenever I want just a cheaper coffee, and you can get one for roughly £3 or no, not £4, but it's usually £3.90 or 3 something. And I find it as a cheaper version of coffee. And today I went there and there was a knitting club. So I managed to go to Black Sheep Coffee. I usually do that all the time because they've got an upstairs bit that's kind of like, it's got hipster indie vibes that I really, really do love going there for. So I went there for a bit and yeah, I just basically knitted about 20 rows of knitting. So in the end, I have actually knitted 25. This is another row, so this will be actually 22? No, 26, probably 26, sorry. Basically what happened is that I gave myself a challenge to always knit 10 rows a day. So then I knit the 10 rows and I thought to myself, how about I knit 5 more rows? So as I knit 5 more rows, in the end I got to about 15. So I thought that's kind of cool. If I did 15 instead of 10, it's a little bit longer because I know when I'm at work and I knit, I can only get to about 10 before I have to click off. I try to knit near enough for the whole break. I have a little bit of lunch and I try to eat lunch as down as fast as I can without indigestion. But is knitting stopping me from smoking as much? Yes and no. Whenever I'm stressed out right in the moment, you can't just knit whenever you want. I'll have a cigarette. But usually knitting has been another alternative of dealing with stress, dealing with anxieties, dealing with pressure at work, dealing with pressure at home, just pressure in general, pressure with anxiety in general. Anxiety is a very, very nifty little subject. And it's one thing I've been doing is knitting because it makes me enjoy the moment. It makes me enjoy how to deal with pressure, how to deal with problems in life. Because life is a mixed match of chaos. And it's how we deal with that chaos. It's one reason why I've really been kind of finding out what is a soul day to me. Now, a soul day, do I do all of these things on a daily basis? I don't always go outside and smoke a pipe. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I'm trying to keep consistent is the coffee thing. I try to keep the coffee thing very consistent. I try to keep the knitting thing a consistent thing because my goal is to be knitting my own scarf. And the reason why I want to knit my own scarf is because it's so easy to just buy something knitted online. Like many of my fisherman's beanies was knitted by a practitioner of knitting. And by the way, all 3 of them fisherman's beanies are quality. And I've got the link on my Instagram. Please check her Etsy out. She's absolutely brilliant. She knits all of her beanies by hand. And after knitting myself, I started to realize the amount of time that goes into these things. But the reason why I wanted to knit something myself is that I thought to myself, well, if hipsters have scarves and they have this kind of aesthetic, what's the point of buying a scarf that's knitted? Why don't you just knit it yourself? You put your hours, your time, you put your effort in there, and I think it gives it more value when you've done something yourself. It's an achievement, it's something to be proud of, it's something that's authentic. So when people say, oh, that's a nice scarf, and you can turn around and say, I knitted it myself, there's more value to it. And, you know, instead of like someone in China who knitted a scarf and they only get paid $1 an hour, you don't get paid for this, but your reward is the scarf itself. You think about all the podcasts you listen to, you think about all the music that you learned about, like the Smiths. I never used to enjoy listening to the Smiths before, but once I started knitting, I put the Smiths on, I ended up really enjoying how that music works. And it made me value the Smiths now. Now I can listen to the Smiths and actually enjoy it because I'm doing something while actually listening to them. And that's the reason how you can enjoy music, or music that you may have never heard of before, or maybe music that you may have not have liked before because you weren't doing anything with it. But then you start doing something with it and then you enjoy it because it becomes like that photographic memory of something that you enjoyed. So say if you enjoy knitting like I enjoy knitting now because I find it a relaxing practice, it becomes something that's unique, and that's the reason why I love knitting.